Hey guys, my name is Simpzy. How you all doing? Welcome to Rome Total War Remastered. The guys over at the Creative Assembly were kind enough to send me over an early access build to make some Let's Play videos. So a huge thank you to them and their community team. We're going to be doing a Scipii and Macedon campaign on the channel. Rome Total War Remastered will be released on the 29th of April and the 30th for Australians. The remaster includes Alexander and the Barbarian Invasion DLC, and for a limited time, if you already own Rome Total War on Steam, you can receive a 50% off the remaster. And also guys, I just want to give you a quick rundown of some of the new features for the remaster. So for the visuals, there is UHD resolution support, updated 3D unit models and textures, widescreen and ultra-wide monitor support now, enhanced battlefield environments, enhanced campaign map, and improved visual effects. Gameplay-wise, there are 16 additional playable factions and 38 in total. It's going to have Steam Workshop and mod support, which I'm really excited about. Some of my favorite mods are for Rome Total War. For example, Roma Surrectum and Europa Barbarorum. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the campaign. Okay guys, welcome to the campaign map. Let's get stuck into the Macedon series. So, the long-term objectives of this series is to reforge and unite Alexander the Great's empire. For the short term, we want to unite all of Greece to throw back and prepare for our major adversary, which will be the Romans. So, our faction leader is currently Antigonus, and we have 4 territories. We don't have to deal with the Senate as the Romans do, but we have Corinth, Larissa, Thessalonica, and Bylazora, I think that's how you say it. But here's our faction leader, of course. In Larissa we have our heir, Gyraz. Further to the north we have Eunice. And there's a couple of rebel territories that we could probably push and go for early on. Like Athens is rebel. We'll do a toggle folk because I want to show you guys off the campaign map from the Greek perspective. Also Apollonia as well is rebel. But this is the campaign map for the Rome remaster. So we eventually want to make our way over to the east, conquer Alexander's former successor kingdoms of the Seleucids and Egypt. There's the north, Dacia. We've got to be wary and watch out for Thracians and Dacians and whatnot. So I think taking Athens as quick as possible is the play, and then dealing with the Greeks, conquering Sparta and Thermon, which will give us enough to hopefully potentially throw back any Roman incursion, whether that's by Brutii or Scipii. So we'll send out our army from Corinth to try and take Athens, and we'll try and build roads from Corinth, Larissa to Thessalonica and create a chain so we can move about our territory quickly. Now the thing is with Macedon, this campaign can be a little bit difficult, particularly on the harder difficulties like we're playing, very hard, because unfortunately we don't have access to any swordsmen. That's why the Romans are so good in this game. They've got access to sword and shield Hastati. Even the Hastati are very good. We've only got access to hoplite militia and also pikemen. So we're actually better off every single time nearly forcing a field battle. But I want to show you guys off some gameplay here today. So we are going to have the Siege of Athens, even though we're definitely better off to auto-resolve it. Trying to take a city with pikes and hoplites isn't really the play on the harder difficulties. So I will try and force as many open field battles, because that's where we're going to excel. If we can get a lot of archers, a lot of Macedonian cavalry, which is fantastic, and just basically hold the front lines with pikes, we're going to be able to dominate the ancient battlefields. Okay, so we've got a faction announcements here. Some games have been held across our territory, and we have militia hoplites and some light lancers on the way. Okay, we've got a full stack here now in Athens. We have 1 battering ram, 4 siege equipment, ladders. So we'll fight this one here, even though we outnumber them. Let's have a battle against the Athenians.
The day has dawned, grim and terrible, but how much more terrible to be facing us, the sons of Hercules, Achilles, and Zeus. Even now, fear must weaken the bowels of our foes. Now then, look to your front, mark your target, and let them worry about you.
Okay, let's wait a little bit because I want to get a nice, clear, Greek sunny day if we can. So we're deploying on a bit of a slope here. We have a bit of a high ground advantage, but here is the city of Athens, with the Macedonian horde just outside its gates. Okay, so for some reason my archers have been locked onto that. So we'll move a hoplite unit on to it. They need to be off pike so they can attach to it. From what I can remember in the base game, yep, like you can't, when you're in phalanx formation, you can't attach to siege equipment. So we'll put our archers on a loose formation. We'll move our Macedonian cavalry and then light cavalry here. So we'll try and push and seize and take the walls as quickly as possible. And once we're in, we'll send in the Macedonian cavalry and the lighter units. And if we need to, we'll send in the general's bodyguard, leaving the faction leader to last. So, I think I'm happy with that. Alright, let's have a look at the Macedonian units for the Rome Total War Remaster. So here is a Hellenic general and the Macedonian general's unit. Here are our Macedonian cavalry here. I do personally like the purple and gold of Alexander. It's sort of like a faction color, but I actually don't mind the black and orange sun, because this is a new Macedonia reforged. Hopefully we can fulfill and honor Alexander's legacy. But Alexander didn't have to deal with the threat across the Adriatic, as it were. Here's a Greek temple inside. So we're fighting some Athenian rebels here, which we should be able to make quick work of. But attacking large cities, particularly with pikes, we're going to lose a lot of casualties here. You're just better off auto-resolving in some situations, because unless you're a bit of a sweat of Total War, I don't think I could personally get a better result manually than auto in this one. And already, unfortunately, the battering ram is engulfed. I can't remember this being so potent in the first game, Arrow Towers. We've lost 2 rams in the Scipii video quite recently. Maybe they've upped the tick rate of potential ignitement of battering rams. So we've got some rebels here just getting some shots off as we slowly but surely make our way up onto the walls. Now I am running on a time restriction here for this video, unfortunately for you guys. I'm only allowed to show off an hour of Rome remastered footage, so I'm going to have to cut things around, make things a little bit snappy, so I can get as much battles and action for you guys. So I made the decision to split it between a Scipii campaign, which you guys have already seen, because that's up on the channel now, and this Macedonian series. So our archers have made their way up. They're not arcing their shots as well as I would like. But please do take into consideration as well that I am using a early access build and things are subject to change until final release. So we've captured the walls here. They're moving up, and we've got some fighting here now, as our militia hoplites have drawn their short swords and are trying to finish off the skirmishers that are on the walls. I've just got this unit there pushing to run over the top of the gateway so we can capture it and open it. These guys are still taking their time to get up here, but man, arrow towers in all Total Wars are so potent. There's not much you can do about them, they're just ripping us to shreds. So yeah, we don't have access. We got access to fantastic pikes and cavalry, but we don't have access to swordsmen in this campaign. In Rome 2, you can get access to like thorax swordsmen and DEI and stuff, which makes the campaign a lot easier. But some factions are like that. I think Numidia, the Seleucids, do actually have access to essentially Romanized swordsmen and stuff. But we've just got to... The thing is with Rome 2, every single faction has their strengths and advantages, and you really got to know them and pick and choose what you want to do. So, my companion cavalry and light cavalry can come in here, because we're going to need them. So we've taken the walls, and now the Athenians have fled back to the town square. Our archers are trying to bring down the remaining units that are sitting in the town square, while our hoplites, although they're pushed in, they're heavily depleted. We'll cycle charge and rotate my cavalry in when we can. Man, my militia hoplites are absolutely cactus after losing so many casualties on the walls. They're just outnumbered, and they're getting shredded here by the Athenian rebels. My skirmishers are really going to have to try and carry me on this one. So we're going to have to use our cavalry now. We'll surround this pike from all sides. Some will take heavy losses hitting a pike from the front. The pikes are exposed and weak from the rear and the sides. We've got 4 units there. One's going to take heavy losses, but we are going to be able to completely surround and encircle and destroy the unit. The general units are unscathed. General's now gone, which is good. Would have liked to snipe him a little bit earlier, but so be it. But our militia hoplites and archers have been massively pushed back. We lost 637. Actually, no, we lost a lot more than that. They inflicted 1,300. Crikey. We won, but at great cost. Athens is now ours, and we'll enslave the populace, dispersing it. Okay, so the Greeks want trade rights with me. I'm actually not open to do that. I do have an alliance now with Dacia, as I don't want the barbarians at my northern gates. I'm actually tempted to nearly drop a trade embargo against the Greeks, because I want to attack them soon. Our relations have now soured. Okay, religious-wise, I can't remember which is the best temple. Demeter has a lot of growth and law buffs. Eventually. But I quite like... I think it was Artemis, so we can get a lot of bow buffs. So I think what I'll do is I'll get the temple and shrine to Demeter, where we want to grow our settlements to be quite large, because isn't the Demeter the god of like fertility and grain and stuff? And then Artemis we'll get for our bow armies, just to spam them out. That'll be awesome. Alright, the Brutii, I've actually sent an army over to Athens, which is unfortunate, as we're preparing to strike Sparta. There's an army outside. Sparta in Rome Total War is always a fun settlement to take because it's such a large city with no walls. It's one of the iconic battles on Greece that you fight. So it looks like the Spartan faction leaders now push back. But after taking Athens and now preparing for our war with the Greeks, I guess the Romans thought we were more divided. So Kilimans of Sparta, 58 years of age, will chuck a quick save. And we'll fight this one on the field. We'll fight the Spartans on the battlefield. They have 900 to our 1,345. Let's fight this one, and then we'll have the siege of Sparta. But war is broken out between the Greeks and the Macedonians.
And remember this above all, the gods are watching from Olympus. Make sure they are not ashamed.
Really? That's it? That was a short little speech. Alright, let's fight this one on the field. So, we should have a better result than the siege of Athens, because we can just fight them on the open field. Some of my cavalry is still slowly replenishing. So we'll reform into a couple of army groups. We'll send our generals here as well, on the left and right flank, and allow our faction leader to hold the line. But let's have a look at the battlefield in the open fields of Sparta. Famed Macedonian and light cavalry on the left-hand side. We should be able to get some good hammer and anvil strikes with those guys. They're going to be the bread and butter of our campaign. Cavalry being the bread. I guess. Archers being the butter. So we've got a wheat field to the north here. Here are some of those new HD textures. And then we've got the Spartans there to the north. So we have cavalry and archer supremacy from this one. So they have 2 units of essentially rabble slaves, then 2 pike units. So let's get our archers to target them if we can. We'll flank with my cavalry. We want to try and get around, wrap around, hammer and anvil, and then do some cycle charging as well. But here are the Greeks. I actually don't mind the Greeks as a unified faction in Rome Total War. It makes them quite effective. I think they actually have a better unit roster than us overall. But I felt like Macedon was the harder of the two, and probably the more enjoyable. Okay, so what's their general unit doing here? Trying to square up to my cavalry on the left-hand side. My pikes are slowly but surely making their way up. I will get them to interlock with mine if we can. Because if 2 pikes go at it, it's actually, especially if you've got cavalry supremacy, if we can lock them down, get them to interlock, we might be able to flank. But we've got an opportunity here for the cavalry to hit this peasant rabble. And we have the lighter Macedonian cavalry to come in. I wish the Macedonian cavalry hit them first. But no matter, the rabble are routing. We'll get those pikes to hit theirs. Try to hit them from behind. Skirmishers are doing well. They were intertwining. They're still trying to do it a little bit now. The AI tends to intertwine the general's bodyguard with a pike unit, which can cause problems. But our Macedonian pikes are engaging the more heavily armoured Greeks there. Our numerical and unit variety should be able to edge it on this one, but we've managed to get rid of Kilo of Sparta. Just watch out for my generals there getting caught against the Spartan commander. But nearly, it looks like the Greeks are in a full retreat. How fantastic would that be? We've managed to snipe their general, which is always an effective tactic on Rome Total War. I imagine it'd be the same on the remaster. So they are struggling a little bit here, those under-armoured militia hoplites. But if we can surround them completely, we should be able to decimate them. And we have... Oh, no, that's us. Our front line is buckling there. Oh, now the Greeks are. It's gone a bit back and forth. I couldn't tell what was going on. Poke 'em full of holes, men. Leave none alive. Right. And we should be able to run down the remaining stragglers. Hey, victory! Yes, we want to continue because they're out in the open field. Let's try and get rid of as many of them as we can. Alright, cool beans. 874. And Kilimans of Sparta is no more. Okay, so we've defeated the army that was garrisoning outside of Sparta. And obviously war with the Greeks. Mission successful there. Alright, sweet. Well, I guess we'll just have to sort of keep an eye on what the Brutii are doing. They've deployed in an annoying spot in Corinth because we're not going to be able to get our reinforcements further down. But we'll siege out Sparta. Okay. We're currently sieging out Sparta. We don't need siege equipment, of course. We can attack in one turn. Now, unfortunately, they do have some Spartan hoplites here, which are going to be really difficult to try and deal with. So who is this? Obviously Eunice has been intercepted, but Amulius Brutus, I think that's how you say his name, has moved down here. I'm surprised they haven't taken Apollonia, to be honest. Okay, welcome to the top of the turn. So, we're going to try and take Sparta now. I was curious to see how the Brutii would react. So it's actually a 50-50, even though we outnumber them 2-1. Okay. So it should be a good fight. It's those Spartans that are inside that are holding us out. 160 of them. Let's see how many of the brave 160 can do.
Now trouble begins. We did not seek war, but we are facing battle and we will not stop until our dead foes fill the field. Now, strike hard! Strike without mercy! Strike down our foes with righteous anger!
Okay, let's get the ball rolling for the Siege of Sparta. Yeah, I always have nostalgia from the Siege of Sparta just because you don't very often attack a city this large without walls. It's because they were famed for not having any. Your reinforcements have arrived. You can actually even snipe Sparta quite easily from the Greeks, playing as the Romans. It's a pretty good base of operations. The southern part of Greece here. So, militia hoplites are going to be the first into the Greeks. Oh, here we go. It looks like the Spartans have come out to meet us. We'll just quickly unpause because I want to show you these guys. So we've got some Greek pikes and then the Spartans further out. Let's move up our pikes and we'll try and allow our archers to really focus on those Spartan hoplites. If I can avoid engaging them in melee, I will. Okay, let's move you here. Although that 160 Spartans came out, it actually looks like they're retreating further back. Let's start hitting them and softening them up. Start reducing those hit points, but it looks like we've managed to aggro them back into this fight. The Greeks seem to have a couple more back within the town square. Yeah, try and pin down these pikes if we can, because we'll get this cavalry to hit them from behind. Just going back and forth. Hitting them from the side would be good if we're quick enough. No, they're gonna reform, but that's okay. Yeah, does the entire time get my archers to focus. Oh, why have they not formed up properly there? They're in a perfect formation. It's like they hit a different terrain pad and it changed. Yeah, slightly little bit of grass and stuff there. It's not going to matter too much as long as we interlock with them, because then we can hit our cavalry at them from the sides. Like, you need to be further this way. There we go. Oh, that should be alright. Steal from the side. Some of them have pushed towards the front. Let's pull them out there. Oh, those Spartans have gotten a little bit too close for my liking. Pull further back. Yeah, go there. The reaction time and responsiveness of Rome Total War you do need to keep an eye on. Because the quickness of the cavalry is a lot higher than Medieval 2. From what I can remember. Well, we're hitting them from the sides here, which is good. Oh, looks like those Spartans have aggressively hit us there. Not in a formation, a pike formation either. Alright, let's try and wrap around and surround these guys. Because it's still very close. We might even be able to hit them there. Focusing, controlling, and phasing out these Spartans is the play. We'll hit them from the sides here now. And here comes the famed Macedonian cavalry charge. Fantastic. I've switched to a flammable shot. Flames increase damage, but reduce accuracy. So, maybe doing a mixture of the two against a lightly armored Spartan would be the play. I don't know. I don't know what would be more beneficial for us. Unfortunately, we've had a heroic death. Gyrus has fallen in a charge. But if we can destroy these Spartans, we'll be fine. Oh, and we've managed to finish off the enemy general. But we've lost one of our own in this fight, which is a shame. I actually don't mind when we lose generals. It kind of builds story and narrative. We lost one in our Scipii series. So now we're going to completely focus on destroying them. We finally knocked out these two Greek units that were holding at the front of Sparta. Now we should be able to push into the town square. Okay, we're moving to the town square now to finish off the last two units inside. We do have that additional reinforcing hoplite, which hasn't been hit at all. So that's fresh, eager, and ready to go. It won't be fatigued or winded at all. The Greeks are making a last final stand here in Sparta, with the 160 Spartans destroyed. The brave 160. I don't think giving them enough time. But we're hitting them from the sides here. We should be able to claim Sparta. And that should be the end of them. Yep. Clear victory. 500 remaining. And we've destroyed theirs. Alright, now Sparta is now ours. We'll enslave and disperse the population. I guess the Helot population throughout Greece. Now, unfortunately, Gyrus has died. The factionaire. I think my Scipii factionaire. Yeah, Julianus died as well. It wouldn't be a Simpsy series without killing the factionaire, I guess. Unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more videos on the channel.